What do you know about the sublight
They
salvage?
strip the parts from derelict ships and abandoned outposts. There's some that say they make the derelicts and encourage folks to abandon their steads. Sublight gives me the creeps. I've known folks who went to work for them and just vanished. They're on the promenade run by a woman named Lilia Hagen. I'm only telling you so you know to avoid them.
I didn't think there were many independent operators in the
Relative
system.
to the board holdings? Not really. But there's a few with the means to go where they will. They aren't rich, but they aren't likely to look too close at your work history either.
I'm looking for something more local.
Commandant Sanita might have a couple of folks she needs killed. Bad folks, I mean. Not regular folks. She'll be at the security desk behind me. Chief Junlei might have an errand needs running. She's all tied up trying to fix our heat problem. You'll find her in engineering.
No kidding? I'd love to get a look at this old girl's innards. I bet they're real twisty and weird. In a good way.
How about something long term?
If you're thinking to make a career here, don't waste your time. Full-time jobs on Groundbreaker tend to be inherited, or go to a fellow crew member's kid. Keep it in the family, you know. All right.
Seems like there's some tension between the board and groundbreakers.
You noticed, huh?
It's hard to miss.
They can't abide an independent township, especially not one they gotta depend on. We're the first and last stop out of this colony. All their interstellar freighters come through us, and we skim a few bits off the top in manifest processing fees with every one. Folks around here will bluster that the board hates our freedom, but really, they know we can stop their out-system shipments anytime we like, and that terrifies them.
I'm glad it terrifies them, the bastards. Keep pushing them.
It's a delicate balance, right? We could cancel their freighters' docking privileges in retaliation, but where'd that lead us? They got assault cruisers, gunships, and a handful of mining operations at their fingertips. We push them too hard, maybe they decide we'd be better in 10 trillion little pieces. Or they cobble together a new groundbreaker and put us out of business.
The board wouldn't do that. Would they?
The board is necessary to provide order to the colony. They believe it's their prerogative to overrun you. But whether you allow that is up to you.
It's a tough line to walk, no doubt about that. But we make do all right. So far, anyway.
Thanks for the info.
Sure thing.
I'm looking for Gladys.
You'll find her in the rest and go, on your left when you enter the promenade. Make sure you bring an empty belly. He's friendly enough unless you speak ill of the board. Get the sense he doesn't care for Groundbreaker much. Not that he would, being a board man and all. He's our liaison. Sure thing. Most places are on the promenade deck. Big door yonder, straight through security. There's a bar on the starboard side. I got a preference for the Lost Hope myself. Talk to Vera. She'll set you right. You need anything else? You let me know. Don't want anyone saying Groundbreaker's not the most hospitable port in the colony.
See you around.
Nice seeing you.
Okay. A quest objective requires you to enter a restricted area. If caught inside, you will be shot on sight. Using a disguise would prevent immediate hostile.
Security. I can check the departures. Find out which crew the scholar shipped in and out with. Yes, you caught me ruminating again. Guilty as charged. What's occupying your thoughts?
Seems quite trusting of you to just sign on without knowing anything about me.
I have run headlong into too many walls in my pursuit of the truth. This book is my last hope, and you were my only hope of getting it translated.
What if the book doesn't have the answer you're looking for?
I honestly don't know what I'd do. This quest has consumed me for the better part of my life. I fear there's nothing else left to me. What about you? What's your story?
I'm a thrill seeker and lover of great renown.
Yes, very funny. Just like the masked marketeer, right?
Not familiar.
Everyone knows that Aetherwave cereal. Where have you been?
I don't want to talk
You
about
were
it.
the one who started this conversation.
Huh? Carry on. Hey. Huh? Move along.
Okay.
Unless you're here to file an incident report or to inquire about the bounty posting, I must kindly ask you to clear out. The Mardet's offices aren't for leisure time nor loitering.
So, what is like working security details on a space station?
Do I look like your gossipy best friend? While I'm on post, I take my duties real serious. I would have no qualms whatsoever escorting you to a cell. Understand?
Well, alright, just trying to make conversation.
I'm not here for a chat. Now get moving before I see you moved.
What's a Mardet? Can I get arrested?
We're the security force here on Groundbreaker. Started back before the crossing, you know.
Why Mardet are not guard or officer?
The original force was made up of a Marine detachment from the 77th Marine Expeditionary Unit, Trailward Fleet. Folks started calling us Mardets because it was easier to say. Guess it stuck. The outlaw scientist fella, right. The board's had it out for him for ages. If you have an inkling of the wheres or what fors of his location, Udon Bedford would surely like to hear it.
Who's Hood on bed for?
He's the board's watchful eye here on Groundbreaker.
Is this well-less fellow a famous criminal or something?
To the board, yeah. You've read his wanted poster. Whole list of things to get their unders in a wad. But he's never done nothing to Groundbreaker, so I've no problem with him. We keep the poster up to keep the peace is all.
I'm interested in that McReady bounty. Where can I find him?
Last tip we got pointed toward the back bays. You want the reward? Do the legwork.
I'll take the posting.
You and about 6 other enterprising mavericks. It's only a matter of time before someone brings me McRed's head, or his lucky lighter, as proof of kill. I do hope you're the lucky hunter, though. Good luck and skip speed to you. Still waiting to hear back on that bounty for McRed. That aside, not much else. Groundbreaker's keeping calm at the moment.
Okay.
Hi there. Haven't seen you around before. What can Groundbreaker Security do for you today?
I could use some work. Any pointers?
Chief Tennyson don't generally hire outsiders for station jobs, but you could try asking at Sublight Salvage. They got an office on the far end of the promenade deck. Anything else I can help you with, mister?
What can you tell me about Chief Tennyson?
Chief Junlei Tennyson. She runs the ship. Does a real great job of it, too. Her family's worked on it for, gosh, since it was built, I think. Back before the crossing.
What's she like? Is she a good boss?
Good as she can be, I guess. What with all the troubles Groundbreaker's facing. She could stand to lighten up, I suppose. But she tries her best to do right by folks, and that's what matters.
Leading a ship the size of the Groundbreaker must be a challenge.
Sure is, but she makes it look easy. She's real competent, our chief, even if she ain't real friendly. They're run by Miss Hagen. Half the tramp captains and contractors in the system have worked for her. I ought to warn you straight off. Scuttlebutt says some of the jobs they do aren't exactly above board. Downright anti-business, if you catch my meaning.
I need you to explain that.
Let's say there's been times when I heard somebody needed a thing, and somebody else had such a thing, but they weren't inclined to sell. Now let's say the one who had the thing suddenly found theirs missing, and the one who needed got one. If anyone asks, Sublight says it got salvaged from an old wreck. Case closed. If anybody could prove them criminals, the board would have put their foot down a long time past. They always got, what do they call it? Deniability?
Criminals on
Something
board.
gets nicked or someone turns up dead, Sublight says, hey, independent contractor, not our responsibility. But everyone knows what they're doing, top to bottom. Against is a strong word. Let's say that if you need something the board ain't inclined to sell, you might look to Sublight to get it. You might pay Sublight a shitload of bits for it, but that money gets passed on to their contractors, so in the end, it's still business.
You must admit, there is a beauty to the order of it. Everything operates within the constraints of the grand plan, even organized crime.
People do what they gotta to get by. Oh, sure, sorry. Gets a mite boring at this desk, you know. Then I get to chatting too much, and Commandant Sonia's gotta reprimand me again, and... Oops, doing it again. Sorry.
Oh, don't worry. Captain's real understanding.
Can't speak for the captain, but I'm used to listening to folks drone on about their pointless, depressing lives.
Awful generous of you, listening to me like this.
I'd really like to get back there.
We can't just let anyone walk in here. I wouldn't be, well, it's not... we just don't. Maybe if you clear an open bounty and get in good with Commandant Sunita, or help Chief Tennyson fix this heat, that might warrant a thank you tour or something.
We're friends, right, Lee? Do me a favor and I'll owe you one. It's this Persuade 45.
Alright, I guess. In and out, though. Just try not to do any shady stuff. I'd like to keep my job.
Oh, it's in here.
There it is. Now that we have the data cartridge, I can finally find out where that scholar I'm looking for ended up.
Thank you.
What can Groundbreaker Security do for you today?
As you were.
How goes the hunt? I've been ruminating on it, and I decided, if you ain't killed McRed yet, I want you to hurt him a little before you do. Nothing excessive, mind you, but the scoundrel deserves a light beating at least before he kicks off.
Forget about the bounties, I want to talk about something else.
Have at it then.
Didn't give me any other option.
Got it. His name is Reginald Cheney, and he joined a sublight salvage crew. Only he's not listed on the return manifest. Must have made landfall somewhere he wasn't supposed to. Ah, yes. Here. There's a domicile on Monarch in Fallbrook, rented to the same bit card he used to buy his seat on the salvage ship. I should have guessed. What better place to lay low if you wish to avoid the authorities?
This seems awfully convenient.
I admit it was a bit of a long shot, but when you've spent as many hours as I have in contemplation of the universe's secrets, you sometimes get a sense for these things.
I need perception. How do I get perception? Is it under dialogue? Instead of that one, now we have everything right here. Is it not here? Oh, this one is here.
Try not to be distracted by the glare of the adverts. Lots of unsavory types about.
Apple cider. A hard cider for a hard life. Rizzo's Purple Berry Crunch. Del Flakes and Purple Berry flavored Power Nuggets. Now with 12% more crunch. Rizzo's Purple Berry Bite. A soft, sour candy shell around sweet.
Huh? I don't have time for this. Move along.
Rizzo's Lemon Slap. Slap your whole family tonight.
Why do we let people more heavily armed than us on board? If you're not crew, you're little people. Move along.
You been flying the Outer Systems route lately? Deader than a space caterpillar out there.
Traffic's down all over. Even the inners are holding on to their manufacture. Exports are way down.
I know one crew, their skip drive burned out. Couldn't get a new one for love nor money. Ended up selling the ship for scrap.
Don't look funny at the crew. Heard they toss folks out the airlock if they don't like your face.
We move cargo 16 hours a day, and half of us still can't afford a bed. Gonna head to Vera's for whiskey and darts. In that order.
This is Halcyon News. We interrupt your regularly scheduled advertisement for the following story.
You learn to keep your eyes to yourself in my job. Nobody wants you looking close at their cargo.
Canyons of acid and sulfur rain are the least of the horrors plaguing the surface of Monarch.